Okay. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for joining our webinar today with Discover New You. I am the founder, and we are hosting today our certified health coach, Angela Worm. The topic is, of course, about health. How do you balance your health for better work performance? So we can use it, especially in the most stressful environment, which is work. And of course, a little bit about the platform. Discover New You is VIP leadership platform, is the only platform that has proven coaching methodology for VIP leaders around the world who actually want to transform and change their businesses for sustainable, successful growth. Especially now we're in a very fast changing environment. So we offer different solutions, different packages for corporate world, from health and well-being, for communication and mindset, also for personal style, for performance and revenue, productivity and career progression. And now Angela is sharing an amazing knowledge in terms of the work performance and stay healthy and fit. So thank you very much for today, Angela, being our speaker, and all the attendees. If you have any questions, please ask at the end.
Yes. Yeah, I will. I've made it so we have plenty of time at the end to ask questions. So I'm gonna, if you have a pen and pencil or pen and paper handy, it's I'm gonna touch on a lot of different subjects here, but if you have any questions as we go along, write them down and I'm happy to answer them at the end. So I just want to welcome everyone. I do have, if you see me look over here, I do have notes because I tend to go off track sometimes and get into a subject, but to keep me on track, I have some notes beside me. So I have a lot to share with you guys today, so I'm going to kind of just jump right in. But I kind of want to take a step back and just ask everyone, has your definition of health changed in the last 18 months? Because I think for a lot of people who've, we've gone through this pandemic, our health has become so important, whether it's your physical health, your mental health, even your spiritual health. And all of those little pieces come together to impact your work environment as well. So having a strong, healthy, relationship with your body, with your purpose in life, with your mental state, as we've all, I don't know too many people who haven't experienced, some struggles in the past 18 months. But I think if anything we take from the last 18 months is just what's important to us. And for a lot of people, looking at their health and well-being has been, one of those factors. So I find it interesting when we talk about health that, a lot of people just refer to it as your physical health. But because, this topic was how do we manage our health for better work performance, we're going to touch on mental health and our spiritual health as well. Of course, we're going to talk about, nutrition and exercise and movement and those kind of things. But also, just to prepare you for the talk that lies ahead, we're going to talk about some spiritual stuff as well. So we're going to get started. I think, let me just introduce, Eliza introduced me a little bit. I'm Angela Worm. I'm a former environmental scientist, so I've done many decades in the corporate world. And then when I became we moved here about 10 years ago to Switzerland from the US, I became a stay-at-home mom for a few years. But then I started really becoming concerned about my health and well-being, as well as my children's health. I found us getting sick often, and it really sent me back. I say I put my my health coaching or my scientist cap back on and went back to school, strictly because I wanted to be, know what the best way to feed my family and my kids as well. So I went back for selfish reasons, but really what I learned was stuff that I couldn't help but share with others. And I'll touch on some of those things I've learned in the last few years or half a decade, those kind of things. And I'm really happy to be a part of Discover New You. I think Discover New You offers an amazing benefit, whether it's corporate or personal or, private coaching. There's so much to learn. So I was really thrilled to team up with Eliza and offer, health and well-being consulting to whether it's corporate environment, on a personal level, those kind of things. So my company itself is called Warm Wellness. So you'll see that little logo there as well. All right. So one of the things like I said, we're going to touch on kind of the mindset. And I know people find this a little interesting at first to think about this, but when I work with my clients one-to-one, I like to know where they've been, what's their journey been like, but also what are their goals, where are they moving forward, as we, look at our health and well-being. I really think that one of the important things that people have come to light in the last, again, 2 year, 18 months through this COVID journey is really just finding your sense of purpose. And perhaps some of you have already discovered your purpose, or, while others are kind of still trying to find it, or maybe we've taken pivots in the last 18 months. But as we return back to the workplace, you might be questioning, how to balance those priorities, whether you have a family, career, hobbies, your well-being, your health. You probably either love spending time with your families if you had families, but you're also looking forward to going back to work, or maybe a little bit of both, and you kind of struggle with how to balance that all. There can be some anxiety and confusion around that as the corporate world, as we start opening up and getting hopefully back to normal. So I think it's very important to have a clear purpose and a clear, what is your value? How do you want to move forward on, your journey in the workplace, or your purpose in life even? Having a purpose really guides you, guides your life. It helps you, set your goals and your intentions and make good decisions that when you have it down in black and white, it helps you see, okay, am I making the right, am I taking the right steps? If one of your goals is to lose 10 pounds, but you're making decisions, not eating the right foods or not exercising, then your actions are out of alignment with, your intentions and your values. So these are things I work with my clients on, but it's also something just important to think about as we move forward, like I said, in this kind of new environment. So purpose is unique for everyone. There's not a right or wrong answer. It's just some questions that, I always like to think about. Who am I? Where do you belong? What do you want to, what fulfills you in life? Those kind of things. So looking at like what your gifts are, what your passions are, your values, those kind of things, it helps you become a little clearer on that journey. So one of the things after kind of identifying your purpose, and the next kind of important aspect of wellness is kind of learning mindfulness. And we're kind of always living in this stressed out state. I think most of us have realized that in the last 18 months, if you had to juggle a job and families and deal with all the things that have been happening, we were all stressed out before COVID. Now we just seem to like have a heightened sense of stress. But it's this constant cycle of things we have to do, or long to-do list, or, things you should do or would do or have to do, that kind of keeps us like fretting about, the future, those kind of things. Social media, bombards us with, seeing people, should you be thinking about a perfect job or entrepreneurship, or, seeing successful friends, or, all this should be kind of stuff. So while it's normal, it could definitely be unhealthy. So we all have that ability to kind of practice a bit of mindfulness. But it does, like I said, it takes practice. It's a skill. It doesn't just happen, overnight. So a basic definition of mindfulness is really just a human ability to be fully present. So you're not always thinking about, oh, I'm going to go do this or go do this, or, being aware of what you're doing. And again, going back to your values, there are your actions, leading you to those goals you have in life. So we focus on, when I work with clients, we focus a lot on mindfulness kind of first and foremost. I don't know if somebody, Eliza, can you mute people? Or I just hear,
sure.
I just hear some background noise, so I wasn't sure it was bothering anyone.
Yes. Okay, now it should be fine.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. But just being mindful of our actions. I mean, there's a lot of science behind it as well about, demonstrating the positive benefits of mindfulness, meditation, just getting all those thoughts out of your head, taking time to pause and breathe. If your phone beeps, you're not immediately looking at it, even, at the dinner table with family or friends, just being mindful of the present moment. eating slowly, appreciating your meals, appreciating the time you spend with loved ones or friends, those kind of things. So I'm just going to take you through, a few steps on, I think a lot of us got in maybe even some bad habits, or maybe you had some good habits over the last 18 months, but getting back to the workplace might send us all in a bit of a tailspin. So really mindfulness can be practiced any time of the day. I always recommend to my clients start in the morning, even if it's just for 5 minutes, because a lot of our behavior, a lot of our things we do is really, we kind of run on autopilot. You think about, the times you're on a train, or maybe you're even driving and you get to your destination and you're like, wow, I don't remember that journey at all. Or, you're engrossed in deep thoughts, or you're probably playing on your phone or social media. So mindfulness is kind of the exact opposite of this process, this kind of autopilot thing, to be aware, even if when you first wake up, setting some positive intentions, taking a few deep breaths. A lot of us are so stressed and have so much on our to-do list that we take these short breaths, and so we're not getting the full benefit of taking a deep inhale and, letting out a longer exhale, those kind of things. So if you're doing mundane activities like cooking or washing dishes, just being mindful as you do it. One of the funny things that when I was doing a class about, I was doing a cooking class just on showing some of my clients how to, I can't even remember what I was cooking. But one of the things that they remember was that I showed them that I have a little candle by my stove. It's a tiny little candle that my son made in kindergarten or something. It's got some colorful little beads or something. But I light that candle before I make a meal to remind myself that this is a mindful practice, that I'm grateful that I get to spend time making a healthy meal for my family, those kind of things. And it's just funny that that's what stuck, in my client's head, that, oh, that's a really good idea. Because I think even as busy as we are, we're kind of, again, on autopilot. We got to cook, we got to do, a million things at the same time. So just going back to, being mindful about our actions, the things we do on a daily basis, and not to get upset if you're, our mind kind of travels. So think about setting even an alarm on your phone a couple of times a day to just take a 5-minute pause or a 2-minute pause if you can. Take some deep breaths, recenter yourself. This just helps set kind of your intentions for the day. So meditation, mindfulness, all kind of the same, discipline, but something to consider. There's even apps now that you can have on your phone that are really great if you want some tips. And they can be used even for a few minutes in the morning, or, a few minutes before bed, these kind of things. So something to think about. Journaling is another great way to get your thoughts, these thoughts that are swarming around your head, out of your head and onto a piece of paper. The simple act of writing down your thoughts and feelings helps you kind of process them a bit more easier. So anyone struggling with like stress or depression or anxiety can particularly benefit from keeping a journal, or it kind of helps you gain control of your emotions and improve your mental health, which when that happens, you show up to work a lot better. You show up with your colleagues, you show up to your projects a lot better. It reduces stress, improves immune function. I mean, there's studies that show journaling actually helps you, physically with your physical health as well as your mental health, but boosting your mood, those kind of things. If you can journal even a couple times a week, or start with once a week for a couple minutes in the morning, just make it a habit. Set aside a few minutes to, even if I like doing it before bed personally, because if I don't, like, there's all these, my to-do list is running around in my head. So I like to write it down so it doesn't bother me while I'm sleeping. So just something to think about. Another thing, and again, we'll get to the physical aspects of nutrition and health, but just learning something new is a great way. I think a lot of people took advantage of, the past 18 months to learn a new language, or make some sourdough bread everybody was doing, or, learn to cook some meals, these kind of things. But this is a really good way to, again, boost your immune system, boost your mental clarity, so you're not getting stuck in kind of the old habits that you're always in. It can be fun, it's something to talk about. Your brain chemistry literally changes when you learn something new. You can kind of stave off like the dementia and the Alzheimer's that comes along. So there's a lot to be said about, learning new tricks. And for a lot of you, if you're in the corporate world, you might have realized over the last 18 months that you want to do something new. I mean, you can still keep your corporate job, but maybe go into a different line of work, or, find a different avenue that you want, or help out, whether it's a volunteer effort or have a new hobby, whether it's gardening or, something. But whatever it is that you want to learn, definitely don't keep it inside. Go after it. You can join a club or look at other classes. So that is a really, I just want to kind of touch on the mind, body, soul part of getting healthy, because finding balance is going to help you perform better at the office. It's just, tons of studies have been said, you cultivate that kind of mind body connection, whether it's yoga, whether you're doing exercise, whether it's, nutrition, doing things you love is going to serve you well. So don't put off things that mean something to you, if that makes sense. Nature is a great way, getting out, laughing, getting out with your family, doing fun things. So just that's something to consider. So of course I'm going to talk about fitness, and I kind of try to steer away from the word exercise, because exercise has this kind of negative connotation, like you have to do it. Oh, I have to go do an hour at the gym, or I have to go for a run today. I want you to kind of flip the script on that. Fitness doesn't have to be like hitting the gym 5 days a week. It can be whatever makes you happy and that you look forward to doing. It's something to challenge yourself, of course, but finding something you enjoy so that you have movement in your life is so important, because so many of us sit for, way too long, this sedentary lifestyle. I mean, there's studies out there now that are saying sitting is kind of the new smoking. Sitting for long hours, 10, 12 hours at your desk is not doing your body or your mind any good. So I'm, for most healthy adults, it's very important to have a good mix of cardio and the strength training, at least a couple times a week. And again, it doesn't have to be hours. I often recommend to people, like, you get that afternoon lull at the office where you're kind of dragging and you need a cup of coffee or something sweet. Go out for a walk for 10 minutes. It's going to boost your metabolism. It's going to boost your energy levels, and it's going to make you feel a lot more mentally there. So that's just something to really encourage you guys to do, instead of reaching for a donut or, another cup of coffee in the afternoon. So find something you love doing: swimming, walking, whatever it is, yoga, running, biking, these kind of things. Anything that makes you want to go do it is going to benefit you more than something that you dread doing. So, but it's important that you do something active, because the sedentary lifestyle is really, wreaking havoc on a lot of our health and well-being. So invite a friend to work out, invite a friend to go for a walk, these kind of things. But literally, we just need to get off our butts is what I like to say. And, I know we've had a stressful year and a half, but a lot of us are sitting watching TV at night or doing those kind of things, and that's fine. But if you're doing it every night for hours on end, when you could be going for a walk or doing something better for your health, it's just something to to consider. So let's see, it's reducing stress. Just reduce your sitting time. If you have to set an alarm on your phone for a couple times a day to just get up, walk around, stretch, those kind of things, it's important. But think about alternative therapies, like a relaxing massage, acupuncture, these kind of things. Even essential oils. I use a lot of essential oils in my therapies to relax, or even essential oils in the afternoon for like a uplifting, like a peppermint or a citrus is really good to kind of get your senses back up. And, if you're getting that afternoon lull again, it can help with headaches. It can help with, kind of that anxiety, those kind of things. So finding something even alternative can be really helpful. Phone a friend, these kind of things. So these are important ways to look at ways to boost your mindset and boost your wellness. So Sleep is super important. I could do a whole class on sleep. We are oftentimes burning the midnight oil and staying up way too late, even after I'm guilty after the kids going to bed, getting a few emails in or checking those. But sleep is one of those that we can't keep running on lack of sleep. There was I actually wrote an article probably about a month ago, because it was when I got my first COVID shot. It made me think, what can I do to boost my, chances of this vaccine working well? And so I did some research. And one of the biggest things is make sure you get a good night's sleep, because if you're getting less than 7 hours of sleep, the vaccine is not going to be as effective, because it reduces your immune system. It's causing, it's not restoring and all your organs. It's not doing the detox work. So there's so much scientific work that goes on while you sleep. You think, oh, it's just for rest and relaxation. It's not. It's when I'm working with clients, I look at their sleep right away, because if they're looking to lose weight, if you're not getting a good 7 to 8 or 9 hours of sleep, then the hormone that reduces your appetite is suppressed. So if you're getting less than 7 hours of sleep, it makes you more hungry the next day. It also makes you crave the carbs and the sugar and those kind of things. So I cannot stress enough how important sleep is. And again, it might be different for each of us. A lot of people kind of say, oh, I can get by with 6 or 7, or 5 or 6 hours of sleep. And I was like, most people can't. I mean, the majority of people need 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Some people can get away with it, but it's something to think about. It will boost your performance at work. It will boost your mental health. It will boost your physical health by making sure we get enough sleep. Let's see. Yeah. Poor sleep is, like I said, strongly linked to like weight gain, higher risk of diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, stroke. So it's just something that I can't stress enough. And making sure that when I say this, usually in a webinar, just really briefly, like we are today, people are like, yeah, of course I want to get more sleep, but you can't. You struggle with getting to sleep, or you struggle with staying asleep. And that's something, again, we look at when I'm working with clients, that we look at, how does your day even start? If you're starting your day stressed, you're running from, task to task, if all day long you're in this fight or flight mode, then your body gets kind of stressed out and it's hard to wind down at night. So making sure your routine, like from what I tell my clients is, getting a good night's sleep doesn't start an hour before bedtime. It starts the minute you wake up. The minute you wake up, you need some fresh air. You need actually some natural sunlight. I mean, even if the sun's not shining, natural light, because it tells the hormones like melatonin and cortisol, it kind of tells them, okay, now it's time to wake up. So the melatonin levels are down. So they come back up at nighttime, but it requires you to, do a few things in the morning, making sure you're not drinking lots of caffeine or sugar or alcohol late at night, because this can disrupt your sleep. But just, again, everything is kind of tied together. So this, stress management, mindfulness will help you get better sleep. It will help you feel better, perform better at work the next day. It's just a vicious cycle. I often say, lack of sleep usually, like I said, leads to poor decisions the next day. It makes you feel tired. So you're kind of craving the coffee or the sugar to keep you going. And it just has the snowball effect of, creating poor conditions to help the next night's sleep. So that's a whole, having a good bedtime routine is important. Like I said, it just helps signal the body to make sure, you're getting a good night's sleep. Going to bed at the same time each night is important. Getting up around the same time, making sure the environment of your bedroom is, dark, quiet. Exercise is super important. And I know myself, for one, I was having a little bit of anxiety and sleeplessness when the pandemic first started. I was worried about my family back home, all these plans were being, and what helped me tremendously is going for, a good walk with my husband. And I think it was the combination of like venting, having good connection time, but also getting that physical exercise, and it helped me kind of overcome that little wake up in the middle of the night stressed again, and also writing down, my thoughts before I go to bed. But exercising is super important for your mental health, for getting the right amount of sleep, limiting the use of, being on your computer right before bed. Everybody's heard that before. Maybe pick up a book, do something other than being on the screen before bedtime. Even a warm bath, or again, some calming essential oils are really good. And just avoiding that onslaught of alcohol and stimulants throughout the day will help set you up for better sleep at night. So, oh, sorry, that was about creating the routine at bedtime, those kind of things. The next thing, people like getting a good amount of water. I know everybody talks about that now, but it's a crucial aspect of maintaining your health. And the reason why is just drinking water really helps balance the kind of bodily, your body fluids. It helps replenish your organs. You're talking about your digestion, your circulation, everything from A to Z is really important for water. What I often tell, again, my clients, like, if you have cravings in the afternoon, please drink a glass of water before you go, satisfy your craving. Oftentimes we get confused and think that hunger is really dehydration. So getting enough water and making sure, this is really important, making sure you're drinking water throughout the day. Not that, okay, at 2:00, I haven't drank any water all day, so I'll drink, a huge liter of water. That doesn't work. Your body really needs that, a steady, stream of water getting hydrated throughout the day. It can lead to a lot of headaches. It can lead to, especially if you're exercising, making sure you're replenishing your fluids. But you can also get water in your fruits and veggies, those kind of things, soups, anything, where you require kind of chewing. The water, along with the water, just helps you feel a little bit full. So it's just important also for like removing toxins in the morning, helping your kidneys do their job. I often recommend, when you get up in the morning, drink a big glass of warm, water. If you can put a little bit of lemon or something in it, great. But if you can drink water first thing, because your body is working really hard to detox and restore all night long. So having a nice glass of water first thing will really help your digestion, help your metabolism, help you, really start your day on a positive thing. So, of course, I'm going to talk about vitamins and minerals and food. Really, one of the best things you can do for yourself is making sure you're getting the right amount of what we call macros. This is like the protein, fat, carbohydrates in your diet. And this is different for men and women. It's different depending on what age you are. As women get older, we tend to need more protein and fat and less, refined carbs. And, men need a different amount of carbs as well. So, but it's just important that we really focus on getting enough, fruits and vegetables. As a health coach, I'm going to emphasize vegetables because we tend to eat the fruits because they're sweet and tasty in lieu of the vegetables. But making sure that you're getting vitamins and minerals at every meal, and if you can do even, your in between meals if you're snacking. And honestly, like I tell, like, make a game of it. See how much you can get, nutrient wise pack into each of your meals. It's quite it's a fun game. But I mean, these are essential to your body. It's essential to keep your mental alertness. It's essential to keep, your nutrients levels up. The vitamins and minerals have, the fibers in it, helps with your digestive system, helps reduce a lot of the risks of cancer and diabetes and all those awful things that come along if we don't get enough. And when I talk about like making, a game out of it, one of the most important meals is breakfast. And I think way too often we discount breakfast as like, oh, I'll catch up on my vitamins and minerals later in the day. But breakfast is one of those key meals because it sets the tone for the rest of your day. If you're eating sweets or a muffin or, having a lot of sugar first thing in the morning, that sugar taste is going to stay on your tongue and you're going to crave sweets all day long. So I often recommend, having a good healthy protein, whether it's oats, whether it's, eggs, or, it does not take that long to scramble some eggs and throw some spinach in and have a really nutritious, you're getting your good protein, good fat, and good nutrients, first thing in the morning. The other thing we don't realize is that protein and fat helps you stay full through the day. It keeps your energy levels up. So, ditching the white bread or those kind of things and jelly, you're just going to not be so hungry throughout the day if you're really focusing on proteins, fats, and the good vegetables, throughout the day. So save your fruit for snack time. One of the reasons oftentimes your energy levels are all over the place is that you just aren't getting the right mix of protein and fat. So oftentimes people are like, oh, I eat a smoothie in the morning. Well, that's great if your smoothie has a good amount of fat and protein in it. But if your smoothie is just full of fruits, your blood sugar is going to go high, and then you're going to have that lull, about 10 a.m. after your big smoothie. And because it's fruit is basically sugar, it's definitely a better kind of sugar than a candy bar or something, but it's a sugar spike, and it's that blood sugar fluctuation that makes you feel tired and makes you crave like carbohydrates and other things. So just think about focusing on like plant healthy foods. It's got a lot of the antioxidants in it. I mean, we are in the summer season of berries and strawberries, and that's a great way to boost your antioxidants and, really enjoy. I'm a big advocate for eating seasonally. So taking advantage of what's ripe right now is, the vitamin C levels, the antioxidants, the all the bioflavonoids that are in the, summer berries is a great snack for you. So something to think about. But it's important also just to stay well, get regular checkups. I often recommend, having your blood levels checked on an annual basis. A lot of women are low in iron. A lot of women and men are low in vitamin D. I see a lot of cases of women who live this stressed daily, existence. And so it affects your adrenals, it affects your cortisol levels. These can all be tested by your doctor. So don't think of your doctor as just someone you go to when you're sick. It should be somebody, you can get your blood levels checked as well. And then obviously if you need help with your, nutrition, these kind of things, that's where a good health coach comes in, because we can, create a plan for you based on exactly what you need, your nutritional needs, your exercise needs, these kind of things. So if anyone's interested working one-to-one, you can contact Eliza, because she has, myself and other good health coaches. So, but just something to, think about. I can help women to a certain extent, and men as well. But if your blood levels of iron and vitamin D and other things are really low, it might need some integrative help as well. So I know this sounds crazy, but your smile is so important. It's a lot. People, I just learned this recently. I've been doing some hormone research on women's hormones, and it was like gum disease is one of the leading causes of heart disease in women, so I was like, wow, that was really surprising to hear. Like, it's important that we have regular checkups. It's important that we, brush, floss, take care of our smile often. It can, honestly, it can escalate. Gum disease, it can escalate into something not so pleasant, like cardiovascular disease and, these kind of things. So having a nice smile, being able to smile to others and, that kind of thing is just one of the benefits of taking care. So, and then I think I just have one more, reducing clutter. Yeah, we have, you may be wondering why clutter is on my thing of, like how to stay healthy, but it's so important to our overall mental and well-being as well. I mean, psychologists have said that are starting to recognize that clutter in our homes can really have a detrimental effect on our mental and physical health. So I know in my house, when my kids' things are everywhere, it causes me stress and I want stuff put away. So it can lead to the kind of like the sensory overload for our already, taxed brain. So it's just that sight of clutter, so having can lead to like that anxiety or reduce kind of even your quality of sleep. So a clean space is really important. It's conducive to productivity. I mean, if your workspace is cluttered, that can lead to even messy mind or, kind of that scattered brain problem. It reduces your creativity. When you have some space to relax and, benefit from not feeling the stress of things everywhere, it can make a difference. Even just, I know for me, having I'm a big advocate, maybe a little bit too much of, making sure the mornings start off well. So like a cluttered house can really, if your day starts off very chaotic, it kind of leads to a crazy day. So getting organized to avoid having to search for things, or even I'm a big advocate for meal planning as well. Making sure you know what you're eating, through the week can help make sure you stay on track with your health goals. So just making sure things are in place and you have a plan. I'm not saying everything has to be perfect, but it can just getting rid of things you don't need can benefit you greatly. It literally makes you feel lighter, like physically and mentally. And it's nice to, like you said, get rid of stuff. So if you have a ton of clutter and you feel overwhelmed by it, take a few minutes a day to really, oh, sorry, my daughter just walked in. Try it, do one room at a time, or, one drawer at a time. So I know I've loaded a lot of information kind of to you in a short amount of time. Here's I'm just going to do like a quick recap. Look at your purpose, practice mindfulness, avoid living on autopilot. If you can journal or start a meditation practice, it's really beneficial. Expand your knowledge of learning something new. Get fit and make exercise something fun that you look forward to doing. Avoid sitting for long periods of time, obviously. Treat yourself to some alternative therapies, like I said, massage or acupuncture, learn about essential oils, those kind of things. Making sure you're getting more sleep, obviously. Staying hydrated. It gives you energy through the day. If your organs are working properly, your digestive system is working properly. Eating, focusing on healthy meals, making sure you're getting all the vitamins you need, and keeping up with your wellness visits, those kind of things, and decluttering your space. So that's really, let's see, how'd I do on time, Eliza? Oh, wow, that was long. All right, so we made it to the end. I'm open for questions. Yes.
Yeah, is there any other questions to our speaker?
Yes, Angela, I would like to have a question to you regarding the rest during the night. I try my very best, but more than 5 hours, I really cannot. And I would love to have at least 6 or 7 hours, even on weekends. But the thing is that I'm happily in the evening, I do my meditation. I listen a lot to Louise Hay, for instance. Yep. I like her, to listen to her, like her voice. And I fell asleep. But then, at a certain time, especially now, I realize we're having a very hot time now, and I have the windows open, and more light gets in, and then at 4 o'clock, 4:30, I'm awake like a little bird.
Yeah,
I'm waking up with the birds every morning.
It's I know for me personally, that's a issue as well, and sometimes that's with age. As we.
I think it's also the biological work to have,
Yeah.
Of course, for ages, not, but for 10, 20 years, I always had to go up early in the morning. And now I still have to go up early in the morning. And that's a little bit the issue, that a bit to be afraid not to wake up at time, you start to get a bit anxious. But I feel I should improve. I really would love to improve that.
Yeah, there's a few things, like we could talk offline about it too, Sabine, if you want, but it might be, I know I feel it too, like I've been waking up because it's bright out at 4:30 or 5 in the morning, and that just means I have to go to bed a little earlier, which isn't always, what we want to do, but sometimes that's the way. But also there's a couple teas I like also to help with if you're waking up in the middle of the night that are good. So there are some.
I tried that out as well, and of course, at the time of the evening when it comes to 9, I can hardly see the news on the television, and then I'm gone.
Yeah,
because I fell asleep too early. But I need to work on that really. For the rest, I'm very happy with the inputs you gave us on the equilibration of food, of movement. That's very important. I completely agree. Especially during pandemic, I try to set up more exercises, being more outside as before, with great results for the health and for the well-being, I have to say.
Right.
The only little black point for me is not resting enough.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes it can even, it's funny, like there's a great book called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. And he talks about how as human beings, we are actually supposed to like take that siesta, you know, after lunch even.
Speedy siesta. Many people I know, they go for 10 minutes to a speedy siesta.
Yeah.
But
I know it's hard. Like it's hard to turn your like life off for that period of time.
For sure, that's something what I should try out to if I can have a speedy siesta, 30 minutes. Not 10 minutes is too little for me. But half an hour, that's maybe good.
No, but it's interesting I mean, that's kind of how we're supposed to.
Especially now when it's hot outside, you cannot go, so you close and you go and for a speedy siesta.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, those are good.
Okay.
Also looking at what you're eating before bed, you know, or what time you stop eating. Those are all those kind of factors. But I'm happy to chat about that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Angela.
Of course, I mean.
Any other questions to Angela from the audience?
They still there?
Well, I really enjoy the part of the sport you were mentioning, because you need to enjoy the sport.
Absolutely. And especially
sometimes we force ourselves to do things that maybe give us results, but not very joyful.
Oh, it makes such a big difference. And it's all here too. Like if you're dreading, you know, going to the gym or dreading going for that run, you know, it's not doing it a lot of the benefit it should be doing.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, one of the things, I work with a lot of women, you know, who are getting, you know, I call it midlife, and we need a lot more strength training. Like it's so important for our muscles and to prevent, you know, the long-term kind of diseases that come after menopause. And I didn't realize that until, you know, in the last few years. It makes a big difference. It helps our metabolism. It helps prevent, you know, the onslaught of those aging diseases, but it also burns a lot more calories when you have some muscles. So, and you don't need to spend hours at the gym, but just getting that good balance of cardio and some strength training. Because if you just do cardio all the time, it's not doing as much, you know, as you think. So, but it's better than sitting, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Great. It was very, very good, informative. I hope our audience enjoyed. So, of course, if there's any interest in go deep into this topics, or as she says, she can, you know, manage to help anyone in terms of corporate or single person. She's on our platform. We can contact us via email, info@discoveringyou.net. So also on the platform, your profile is there. So we'll be happy to get some benefits for yourself. And thank you very much for today, for the audience. I hope we can see each other soon and make more of this amazing webinars with Angela.
Great. Thanks, Eliza. Thanks everybody for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.